Welcome to ISTV English News Bulletin. I'm RK Primrose and let's see the headlines. On the first day of the two-day special session of Manipur Legislative Assembly, 3 bills to protect indigenous people of Manipur introduced. Now the news in detail. The two-day special session of the Manipur Legislative Assembly has begun from 11 a.m. today and continued up to 12 noon. The 3 bills introduced in the Assembly today are the Protection of Manipur People's Bill 2015, the Manipur Land Revenue and Land Reforms 7th Amendment Bill 2015 and the Manipur Shop and Establishment 2nd Amendment Bill 2015. Chief Minister Okrum Ibobi, Law and Legislative Affairs Minister T.H. Devendra and Labour and Employment Minister I. Hemochandra introduced the 3 bills. The House took up 2 obituary references and all members stood in silence for 2 minutes to pay respect to the departed soul of former President of India Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and former member of Manipur Legislative Assembly KSH Irabot. Taking part in the obituary references, Leader of the House, Chief Minister O. Ibobi said Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was the 11th President of India, was a great scientist. He died due to a massive heart failure he suffered while delivering a speech at the Indian Institute of Management at Shillong. The man who introduced India's missile to the world was honoured by conferring several national and international awards on him. While expressing sharing of the grief faced by his family, Chief Minister Ibobi prayed to God so that his soul could rest in peace. He also said that KSH Irabot, who had been elected for 3 terms as a member of the Legislative Assembly, was a brave man. He always took part in discussion on issues of the state and the people. His death is a great loss for the state, Chief Minister Ibobi said. MLA of Kakching Assembly Constituency, Y. Surchandra said President Dr. Kalam was regarded as the president of people. His death is a great loss for the nation, he said. Talking about the contribution of Irabot, MLA Surchandra said he was a follower of Jan Neta Irabot. He had taken major role in various issues of the state. He also worked to improve the irrigation and many other development projects in areas surrounding Kakching. Opposition TNC MLA Dr. I. Ibo Halbi said late President Dr. Kalam was a man who did not consume meat and was fond of music, children and students. His death was caused a wide vacuum that cannot be filled up, Dr. Ibo Halbi said. MLAs P. Brojain, Dr. N.G. Bijoy, L. Ibomcha, etc. also participated in the obituary references. Assembly Speaker T.H. Lokeshwar said former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's demise is a great loss for India. The vacuum left by his death cannot be filled up, Speaker Lokeshwar said. While expressing deep sorrow over the death of former MLA KSH Irabot, the Speaker also prayed to God for his soul to rest in peace. On the other hand, it may be recalled that the Joint Committee on Inner Line Permit System has been spearheading a fiery movement for nearly 2 months demanding implementation of Inner Line Permit System in the state. After holding 4 rounds of talks, both the JCILPS and the state government had come to terms, signing a 7-point agreement which pledged that 3 bills aimed at protecting the indigenous people would be introduced and passed in the special session of Manipur Legislative Assembly. Well, various market women's organization of Kwaramban markets today kept aside their 1 day's business and held protest demonstration at the market demanding implementation of inner line permit system in the state to save the indigenous people at the earliest. A public meeting was also held where many experts spoke on the issue concerned. Due to the movement of the market women, most of the shops and business establishments on BT Road, Pauna Road and Thangal Road remained closed. Street vendors, vegetable sellers, etc. were not seen on the roadside and at the markets.
I'm ready. Teloro. Editor car late. Some say hujikpudi perfectly straight ado kankhar kandadi freezy. Relax. Perfectly straight.
Aina semi anoba sunsil perfectly straight with straight lock technology maramdi. Some kankraba matung dasu align straight oina laina bagidama.
Wow. Hujiksu straight oirina.
Straight and gorgeous. Sunsilk perfect straight. Lock tobio, rock tobio.
Now let's have some national and international news. The performance of the Narendra Modi government is expected to come up for review next month at a meeting of his party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, and its ideological mentor, the Rashtriya Sevak Sangh or RSS. During the 3-day meet, which begins on September 2nd, top leaders of the BJP and RSS will deliberate on central schemes and the policies, their ground impact and the road ahead. It will focus on the achievements of the government as well as the gaps, help calibrate schemes and improve implementation. The group will also focus on the strategy for the forthcoming assembly election in Bihar. The meeting has emerged as a platform to build better linkage between the government and the organization and analyze feedback from workers and RSS affiliates engaged in varied sectors including education, agriculture, health, economy and tribal affairs. Thus, the coordination meet will be attended by the members of RSS affiliates like the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Swadeshi Jagran Manch, who are expected to provide ground-level feedback. Recently, the Swadeshi Jagran Manch has gone public against the NDA government's contentious land acquisition bill, which had dropped the requirement of consent of farmers and social impact assessment for certain category of public and government projects. In what could be a landmark decision, the Law Commission is likely to recommend the scrapping of death penalty. However, with an exception to death penalty in terror cases, the draft report circulated among members favors speedy abolition of death penalty from statute books, except in cases where accused is convicted of involvement in a terror case. The final report is likely to be submitted to the government next week. The term of the commission ends on August 31st. The present law of the death penalty was laid down in Bachan Singh UOI 1980 when the Supreme Court upheld the constitutional of the penalty. However, the apex court confined its application to the rarest of rare cases to reduce the arbitrariness of the penalty. The legal landscape has also transformed in 35 years since Bachan Singh. In 1980, when Bachan Singh was decided, only 18 countries had abolished the death penalty for all offences. Since then, about 2/3 of the world has abolished the death penalty in law or in practice. 98 countries have abolished the death penalty for all offences, 7 have abolished the death penalty for ordinary crimes, and 35 others have imposed an effective moratorium against the death penalty. In international criminal law, the death penalty has been abolished for even the most grave and heinous offences such as genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. In recent cases, the Supreme Court has recognized that despite the rarest of rare doctrine, the death penalty continues to be applied arbitrarily. And provoking India yet again, Pakistan violated the ceasefire on the intervening night of Thursday and Friday by firing on 5 posts of Border Security Force BSF in RS Pura sector of Jammu and Kashmir. 3 civilians have been killed and 15 others have been injured in mortar-shelled firing in residential areas. The firing started at 10 p.m. on Thursday and stopped around 3:30 a.m. The Pakistani troops fired mortar bombs and used automatic weapons in the firing. The shelling was so heavy that the shells landed deep inside villages much away from IB. Well, hundreds of people are feared dead after 2 boats carrying up to 500 migrants capsized off the Libyan city of Jawara, residents and officials say. The first boat, which signaled for help early on Thursday, had nearly 50 people on board. The second overcrowded boat, which sank much later, had about 400 passengers. Officials said about 200 people had been rescued by the Libyan Coast Guard, but many people appeared trapped in the hole when the boat capsized. Before we end up the bulletin, let's have the headlines once again. On the first day of the 2-day special session of Manipur Legislative Assembly, 3 bills to protect indigenous people of Manipur introduced. That's all we have in this bulletin. Keep watching ISTV News.